Hello, this is Kelly Allen. Today I'm going to discuss with you U visas. And a U visa, or U visa status more technically, is for certain crime victims who cooperated with law enforcement. And the policy reasons behind creation of this particular visa are to encourage foreign nationals who do not have legal status in the U.S. who are victimized to come forward and report those crimes to law enforcement without fear of their placing themselves in jeopardy because of the immigration status. So it's an excellent concept, but there are very definite limitations when it comes to a U visa. So the first issue is not all crimes qualify for a U visa. There's a specific list of types of offenses that will generally qualify. So any sort of sexual offense, a child abuse offense, things really serious, an armed robbery against you, a felonious assault, which would generally include, use of a weapon. All of those sorts of things are going to qualify for a U visa as far as the crime itself. But let's say that your car was broken into, or you were the victim of what the police classify as a simple assault, or your home was broken into when you were not there, something was stolen from you. None of those things are going to qualify for a U visa. So the first thing you have to have is that you have to actually be the victim of a qualifying crime. The second component is that you have to cooperate with law enforcement. So that starts by actually filing the police report and discussing exactly what happened. Sometimes that is enough to count as cooperation for a U visa. It depends on what is asked of you. The main thing is that you cannot refuse assistance. So if the officer or the detective comes back out and asks you to look at pictures, or asks you to go in and look at a lineup, or if the district attorney asks you to testify, or if you say, oh no, I've decided I don't want to press charges, and I don't want to be involved, any of those things are lack of cooperation. So if any of that happens, then you're not going to be eligible for a U visa because of lack of cooperation. But if the police department never asks you for anything else, or the district attorney never asks you for anything else, then simply filing that police report can be enough to be considered cooperation. The next prong is that you have to be able to show that you suffered substantial injury, and that can be physical, emotional, or a combination, as a result of the criminal activity. So that is going to depend, of course, on the specific crime. It is certainly easier to show if there's physical injury and there are, medical hospital records. But it's largely also based on a statement that you write explaining what happened and how it has impacted your life, and statements that other people write, or if you've received counseling, then all of those records are instrumental. So the steps in filing a U visa case are, number one, we have to be able to get law enforcement certification. So that is a document that we send to either the police department or the district attorney's office who handled your case, asking them to sign off saying that yes, you reported this particular crime, it meets the U visa statute, and that yes, you cooperated, that they didn't ask you to do something to help with the case that you refused to do. So we have to have that signed law enforcement certification in order to file a U visa petition with immigration. The problem is that you're really at the mercy of the law enforcement system where you were victimized. So there are lots of police departments that will readily sign the law enforcement certifications for U visas. But unfortunately, there are many others who have a blanket policy that they absolutely will not entertain the idea of signing a law enforcement certification under any circumstances. Or others that say, well, if it was this type of crime or that type of crime, we'll consider signing, but not others. Or we'll only sign if the crime occurred within a certain time frame. Unfortunately, if the law enforcement agency or the district attorney's office, if there was a prosecution, if neither of them will sign, our hands are tied because we absolutely cannot file the U visa petition without that law enforcement certification. As long as we do get the law enforcement certification, then we can file the U visa application with USCIS, and that's where we have to provide the proof that you were a victim of a qualifying crime, that you did cooperate, and that you did incur that substantial injury as a result of the crime. A U visa is a wonderful thing to be able to get. It takes a long time to process, but if successful, the visa is issued for 4 years. But after 3 years of having U visa status, you're eligible to apply for a green card. And that is a huge advantage. So if you believe that you've been the victim of a potentially qualifying U visa crime, definitely come in and talk with us so that we can evaluate your case and see if a U visa is an option for you.